Picture this, you're running late. You finally snag a parking spot. But of course, the meter's busted. The coin slot's jammed, card reader's dead. But then, you see it, a little QR code sticker. Pay here. Perfect. You scan it, pay, and you're on your way. You just saved yourself a headache, right? Well, maybe, because in that rush, you might have just handed a scammer the keys to your financial life.
Okay, let's get right into it, because that simple little scan is the doorway to a cyber threat that is absolutely exploding right now. Today, we're going to break down Quishing, what it is, how it really works, and most importantly, how you can spot it and stay safe.
So first things first, what even is Quishing? Well, the name is just a mashup of QR code and phishing. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a scam where a criminal uses a fake QR code to send you to a bogus website, one that's built for one reason and one reason only, to steal your information. You know, the pandemic kind of trained us to trust these little black and white squares for everything. Menus, check-ins, you name it. And that automatic trust, that muscle memory, is the exact vulnerability these scammers are counting on.
And make no mistake, this is not some small-time problem. According to the security firm ReliaQuest, we've seen a 51% jump in Quishing incidents year over year. It's exploding. And the reason is simple. It works. It's a clever way to bypass a lot of the security filters that are trained to spot a shady text link, but not a malicious image.
So what does this look like out in the real world? Well, the most common method is also the simplest. It's called the sticker swap. Let's see how it works.
To get a sense of the scale here, just listen to this. In a single day, police in Redondo Beach, California, found that scammers had slapped fake QR code stickers on about 150 different parking meters. Think about that. This isn't 1 or 2 meters. Scammers can print these things out for pennies and then just paper a whole city with them, targeting people who are exactly like you were in our opening story, rushed, distracted, and just trying to follow the rules.
And the whole process, from you scanning the code to the criminal stealing your data, is terrifyingly fast. It goes like this. You scan the code, trusting it, because, hey, it's on an official machine, right? The code then zips you over to a website that looks just like the real deal. You pop in your credit card info, hit send, and bam, the scammer has it. And the worst part? You haven't even actually paid for your parking, so you often get a ticket on top of everything else.
But you know, this isn't just a parking meter problem. Not at all. This threat is popping up in a ton of different places, both out in the physical world and in our digital lives.
And it's not just a danger to us as individuals. Data from Trellix shows the top corporate targets too. Telecom and software as a service companies get hit the most, then manufacturing, then retail. In these cases, the scam is usually a QR code hidden in an email trying to trick an employee into giving up their corporate login to something like Microsoft 365.
The scammers are even bringing this threat right to your front door. The FBI just put out a new warning about something people are calling brushing scam 2.0. Here's how it works. You get a package you didn't order. Inside is some cheap little item and a card with a QR code. It'll say something like, "Scan here to learn about your mystery gift." They're playing on our natural curiosity to trick us into visiting a site that harvests our personal information.
And in the business world, these attacks get very specific. Get this. C-suite executives are a staggering 42 times more likely to be targeted by Quishing attacks. So why them? Well, their login credentials are the keys to the entire kingdom. And this method is really effective because the executive will often scan the code with their personal phone, which is totally outside the protection of the company's network security.
Okay, so we've laid out the problem. It's a big one. But now let's talk about the solution. How do you actually spot one of these fakes before you fall into the trap? It really just comes down to being a little skeptical and knowing what to look for. Here's a quick checklist for you.
All right, let's run through these red flags. First, look at the code itself. Is it literally a sticker that's been placed on top of another sign or code? Do the edges look like they're peeling, or does it just look kind of cheap? Next, think about the context. Did this show up in an email you weren't expecting? Is it trying to create a sense of panic, yelling, "Pay now"? Then, use your phone. Most phones will show you a preview of the URL link before you open it. Does that link look weird? Is it using a link shortener, like bit.ly, which could be hiding the real destination? And finally, see if there's another way to pay. If there is, like tap to pay, that's almost always the safer bet.
So let's put this all together into a clear plan. We're going to build your personal defense playbook. It's got 5 simple steps to take before you scan and 5 critical steps to take if you think you might have already scanned a bad one.
So before you scan anything, first, inspect it. Look for any signs it's been tampered with. Second, preview the link. Don't just blindly tap open. Third, if it's for a service like parking that has an official app, just open the app yourself and pay through there. Fourth, always prefer tap to pay if it's an option. And number 5, this is the most important one. When in doubt, don't scam. Seriously, trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is.
Okay, but what if you're watching this and a little alarm bell is going off in your head, thinking you might have already scanned a bad code? First, don't panic, but you do need to act fast. Here's what you do. Step 1, disconnect. Turn off your Wi-Fi and your cellular data right away. 2, if you entered a password, go change it immediately, not just on that site, but on any other site where you use the same one. 3, if you entered payment details, call your bank's fraud department. Do it right now. 4, run a good security app on your phone to scan for any malware. And 5, clear your mobile browser data to get rid of any nasty stuff that might be lingering.
You know, when you really boil it all down, it comes to this. Your own skepticism is your best security tool. Technology will always have loopholes criminals can exploit. But that little pause you take, that moment where you stop and just ask, hang on, does this look right? That is what makes all the difference. The simplest, most powerful thing you can do to stay safe is to just think before you scan.
And hey, if you think fake QR codes on parking meters are a problem, that's really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to public space scams. Join us next time when we dive into the surprisingly complex and organized world of the fake parking ticket industry. We'll see you then.